Thank you, Mark Agnesi with Norman's Rare Guitars. We're focusing on vintage guitars in Southern California. Here's Sharon Schoenberg with a look at classical guitars.
Strands of pearly notes flow from strings at Trilogy Guitars.
Our specialty is handmade classical guitars. Classical and flamenco builders typically build a guitar a month, maybe 12 a year. The people who are really efficient, really working hard, might build up to 20. But it takes about a month to make a concert classical guitar. A lot of these guitars are guitars you can't find anywhere else.
What is it that people love about a classical guitar?
Pure organic sound, just you and the guitar, no amplification, no color, just whatever you can bring to the instrument, whatever the instrument's going to bring to you.
We also sell a lot of vintage guitars, older stuff from the 30s, the 40s, even earlier, which they're all collectibles. You just can't find stuff like that on the market. You know, we sold a guitar that was made from Segovia from 1931, incredibly rare. If you take care of them and they're humidified and cared for correctly, they'll last forever. I mean, I have guitars from the late 1800s that are still in great shape. Yeah, and they still sound great.
Which one sounds best?
There's never one guitar that I'm always swooning for. If I had my choice, every piece that I play, there's a perfect guitar for that piece.
And a perfect evening would be hearing that guitar at one of their intimate concerts.
We have about 50 to 60 people that we can fit here, which makes almost a perfect amount for a nice, cozy classical guitar concert. Some of the world's best players have played here. Luckily, through what we do, we've met a lot of these people, talked to them on the phone, meet them at guitar festivals or things like that, and they've become very good friends. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty lucky. That's what I am. I'm lucky. Knock on wood.
Music to soothe the savage beast. In Playa del Rey, I'm Sharon Schoenberg.
Thank you, Sharon. From classical guitars to this great Fender, and musician Johnny Lee Schell, who's played with John Fogerty, Bonnie Raitt, Taj Mahal, did the music for Jim Belushi for many, many years, according to Jim. You're on such a roll now, and you keep producing and putting out music. What's the key to your success?
10% inspiration and 90% perspiration.
Hey, pick a little bit for us if you don't mind.
Is that enough?
Oh, that you give me.
You have to pay me if I play longer.
So you've toured the world. In fact, you graduated from Farwell High and started touring with the band, and then came out to California, and you just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we were like a regional band, you know. We are based in Amarillo, but we played in 40 states. So we traveled around a lot, and then when that kind of gave out, I moved out this way.
What's your favorite guitar, Johnny?
I've got a Tele that was made by the Fender Custom Shop, similar to this. It's called a No-Caster. This is one of the first Fenders ever made, and it's before they even thought of the name Telecaster. They were just, it doesn't have Telecaster written on the head, and that's why it's called a No-Caster.
That's Johnny Lee Schell, the pride of Farwell, Texas. Now here's Jerry Reeder with a profile on a shop in Sherman Oaks.
Vintage guitars have a certain vibe. The more lived in, the better, and the well-accepted truism is that guitars get better with age. Hundreds of guitars grace the comfortable showroom at California Vintage Guitar and Amp, where Dan Duran shares his knowledge of vintage guitars.
The most collectible guitars are the American guitars made in, say, from the 30s up until the late 60s. Those are the most collectible guitars. Martin guitars made in the 30s are very, very desirable. They're very well made. They sound great. They're a solid blue chip investment. Those are great. Fenders and Gibsons made in the 60s, 50s and 60s are very, very desirable. Those are the first electric guitars ever made, and those are historically important, and they're great instruments as well.
Let's take a look at some of these guitars.
This is a good example. We were talking about leaving things original. This is a 1954 Martin D28 that is all original. Now it shows quite a bit of wear here because somebody played it. Somebody loved this guitar and played it quite a bit. This is a Fender guitar. This is a brand new guitar. That's a brand new guitar. It's called a Fender Relic. Here's a dobro here.
Oh, right, I see.
See, this is wood. It has a little bit different sound.
Whether you collect guitars or have a family heirloom, Dan gives a solid piece of advice.
Well, the most important thing with old guitars, the most important thing is originality. If somebody has an old guitar and they're thinking about refinishing it just because it has some scratches in it or some nicks, that's the kiss of death. You'll ruin it if you do that. If it's original wear and tear put on by somebody who played the guitar, you got to leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Off Van Nuys Boulevard in Sherman Oaks, I'm Jerry Reeder.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Norman Harris with Norman's Rare Guitars. Johnny Lee Schell, my old buddy, thank you very much. And thank you folks at home for watching. I'm your host, Ben McCain. See you later on the trail.